The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
Oh, Cat jumped on me right at the countdown. Could be gone. Oh, she's got in the court. Run. Oh my gosh. You're listening to Canary Crime News Talk. Today is March 14th, 2019. And this week, Q-Andro and Mark's Mind Readers. My name's Basil.
And this is Gonz. Welcome to this podcast recorded on Pi Day. 3.141592653559.
Oh boy.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's happening.
Yeah, this is the podcast.
Ritzing out.
Yeah. The podcast where we bring you other news with Canary Cry views. Welcome.
That's right. And, Pi Day is one of those days that I observe. I observe the holiday.
You draw circles.
And yet I just don't care that much.
You don't care. I don't care.
But I do like the word play. I like pie. So
Pie.
That works for me. Gonz, I have exciting news for you.
You do?
Yes. The Canary Cry Radio, after years of existence, the Facebook page has just hit 10,000 likes. So that's nice. Yeah, 10,000. Some of listeners might remember, I think it was, I'm going to put it at about 4 years ago is when we hit 4,000.
Hey, so we've over doubled.
Yeah, we've doubled in 4 years. I can't really say that we've rocketed to 10,000, but we're there. At 4,000, we made a sock puppet video. Do you remember those sock puppet videos?
I do, and I remember you had to do a lot of the legwork on the actual sock puppeting.
Did almost all of it besides the existence of your voice. But those were a huge pain in the butt, but they were fun. People were asking for a 10K sock puppet video, so we'll see if we get there.
Are we there yet?
No.
Oh, I thought the whole point of you mentioning it was the fact that we made it.
No, we're at 10K. We'll see if we get to the point where I emotionally and spiritually have the ability to make another sock puppet video.
Oh, I see what it is. So you're going to have me drive up there and sort of whip you into shape so you pull it off.
Please.
And then eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to be on the floor with the sock puppets and I'll be like, well, how did this happen?
Yeah. It's the old switcheroo. And Gonz, remember when we said we had to make this part of the show so short?
Yeah.
Do you have any exciting news for me that we can move on and keep the show going?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our most loyal listeners list from 2018 based on, I don't know, state.
Yes, location. And this earnestly surprised me.
Yeah, real briefly here. California, number one, my home state here. So way to go, California.
Wow. That means we have had more downloads from California. The most downloads from California
in 2018. Wow. Number two, close second, is Texas.
Texas. You know what actually is interesting here? California has overtaken Texas because Texas at one point was number one for a long time.
Yeah, well, they're all, I guess they're sick of us.
Wow, isn't that the eternal struggle? California v. Texas.
Yeah,
in almost every sense.
Yeah, good old American. I don't know, a cage fight, Canary Cry cage match.
I have long established that Texas is the place I'm going to go when the apocalypse hits, and if I'm not blinked away. Because those are my people. They'll
people
protect
with gold
me.
And guns,
That's where I want to be, Texas. Come on, you've fallen a little bit behind. That's okay. I still love you, but we got to catch up. California is number one.
Yeah, and
I don't even like saying those words.
Yeah, Texas better watch out too because they got somebody trailing them pretty close.
Who's behind Texas?
Canada.
the entire country of Canada.
Of Canada. Way to go up there, guys.
That's very funny. Well, good for you, Canada. You're in top 3.
Yeah,
I don't know
3.
much about Canada, but I'm not sure if they make top 3 on a lot of lists.
Yeah,
I kid. Canada, you're great.
You're mean. There's a lot of talented people in Canada.
I love you, Canada. I love you the third most.
The third most. And just to round off a list, because, you didn't want to add this, but I'm going to, because they're right behind Canada, and that's the UK.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, good for Canada. They've overtaken the
UK,
the motherland. The Commonwealth has now become the empire.
And by the way, that's literally downloads by location, and so that's the order that we have.
Okay. California, Texas, Canada, UK, Texas. Come on, people. Yep. Get on it. Double download everything. We need to pull ahead. Okay. Gons, let's move into the show.
Flippy update. Do you want fries with that?
That's right. We've got 2 Flippy updates, so I'm going to make them really quick. First one. This is futurity.org, which is just the most just didn't work. Futurity.
We're in the future.
Yeah. And it's a real drag when robots beat us at games. And just to summarize this, basically they were trying to study the effect of robots being better than us and study the effects on our own self-worth, according to that. And our good friend Flippy, for those who don't know, Flippy is the name for the lovable robotic arm that just shows up all over the place now. He mixes drinks, flips burgers, is going to space soon, thanks to Canada.
You need to get a Flippy arm that just pets your cat during the show.
Oh my gosh, if that would be so amazing. Somebody needs to send me a Flippy, please. I'll put one on my Amazon list. I wonder if you can buy a Flippy on Amazon.
Oh gosh, don't do that.
Okay, stop the show.
No.
Amazon.com.
Oh no, you're wasting time. You're the one
this
yelling
is great.
At me.
This is worth it. This is what the show is.
Okay, while you look for that, okay, at the end of this article.
Here you go.
All right.
La La Land Soul. Oh, there are so many Flippy arms you can buy on Amazon. All right, everybody, go buy a Flippy arm on Amazon. But back to futurity.org. When robots beat humans in contests for cash prizes, people consider themselves less competent and expend slightly less effort and tend to dislike the robots, according to a new study. So to summarize, they played this little game where you move a little block around a piece of paper. The details are not that important, but the fact is, when human beings saw that the robot arm was better and faster and that they had no hope of catching up in skill or agility, human beings got quite sad about it, thought themselves less competent, and also hated the robots afterwards because they took their cash
the robots.
Prize. That's your new ISO. Very good. That was a good placement.
Yeah. At the end of the article, it talks about how the Israel Science Foundation partially supported the research here, in addition to Cornell and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. So a lot of Middle East, Israel getting involved with some of this human shaming with robots.
Well, somebody's got to figure out how everybody's going to respond when they're working next to a Flippy arm at their job.
What better than the most hated nation in the Middle East?
Yeah, it is better than that. A second quick little Flippy update. This is at bgr.com. Watching this soft robotic hand move is strangely hypnotic. Basically, someone has spent their entire life's work into making a robot hand that moves and works like a human hand, and it has the creepiest name, which is Bionic Soft Hand.
Yeah, I thought his name was Festo.
No.
No? Is that the company
Bionic
name?
Soft Hand is what we're calling it because it's the worst name for a robot ever. So, I bring this up just in case anybody out there, we might see Flippy start appearing with weird bionic soft hands. So I don't know if I'm going to be into that. You
don't seem too excited about the soft hand version.
I'm really not. I like Flippy. I like my Flippies with claws and clamps.
You're more rugged. You like the more rugged look.
This soft hand thing is not, that's the whole point of Flippy running the deep fryer is he doesn't have soft hands.
His prongs into the
Yeah, his cold robotic prongs into the boiling oil to retrieve my chicken nuggets.
You'll know a well-seasoned Flippy if they have, deep wounds from the scorching heat of
no,
burning oil. All right.
Give me the clamps, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you have an ISO that was the clamps robot from...
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I can find it right at this moment.
Not okay.
Yeah, because I got something else ready. Because you got me all, prepped with sound effects and whatnot,
I know. I'm trying to keep this thing on track.
Blockchain. Blockchain.
Okay. Moving on, I guess.
Yeah, a little. Did you have something else with the flippy hand?
No.
Soft hand? Did you want to hold the soft hand? Is that?
Oh my gosh.
Blockchain.
This is why you never start a show by telling Gons we need to be on time.
Okay, so real quick update here. Stellar Lumens, which is a cryptocurrency out there, changed their logo from a little rocket ship, which was an interesting. It's kind of like a cartoonish rocket ship, which everyone thought was kind of silly to begin with.
You've brought it up before, specifically with Stellar, and you thought it was very... You had some conspiracy theory why it was a rocket ship.
Yeah.
And yet they've changed. So
they changed the logo. So it's no longer a rocket ship. It is now a styled S, the letter S, but it's more like a circle with two lines going through it. And it looks eerily similar to the familiar a logo that is on the 1988 Economist cover that we always bring up, with the phoenix rising from the ashes of burning fiat, with the gold medallion around the phoenix's neck, and the symbol on that gold medallion is a circle with a line through it. Looks very similar to the new Stellar logo, which I think
our European listeners will call that symbol an O/.
O/. But it's like a double O/, and it's got a little opening on each side to make it into an S.
They're basically trying to take their place as the cryptocurrency to take over fiat, according to the allegedly prophetic 1988 Economist cover.
Yeah, maybe there's a whole bunch of different companies racing to be the one, because it's like a game, a little elite game, But anyway, there it is. It looks kind of like a Saturn symbol too, and I think they're planning to use that logo as a similar or equal to the all the other currency symbols, like the dollar symbol or the yen or the
I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad for that. It's
not
works.
a bad one.
But they're trying to really define it. So there you go. There's your little update.
Blockchain.
Okay, blockchain update. Keep an eye on Stellar. They're gonna outlive us all. Some things happened today. We're actually recording on the night of the 13th here, just to pull back the curtain a little bit. And today,
it's almost the 14th though.
Facebook and Instagram went down forever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's actually funny. It was a moment I went to log into Facebook, just to check on the Facebooks, and nothing came up. It just stayed as a white page, and I refreshed and nothing happened. And I went,
did you have like a mental breakdown? Were you like, oh man, what's going on, man?
It happened, and I said, that's weird.
I would have been like, okay, good.
Well,
finally.
So I did it. I checked my antivirals and ransomware and everything just to make sure it wasn't being blocked for some sort of hacking reasons, and then saw that it wasn't, and just went okay, and went along my day. But apparently, it was apocalyptic.
You know how they're gonna get everybody into the whole Matrix Mark of the Beast system. They're gonna just shut down all the social media that everyone's addicted to, and then the robots are gonna walk out, and they're gonna say,
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Yeah, that's good.
Where we have Instagram and Facebook and
gotta get the jingles out.
Gotta do it.
We're doing so good at talking over each other this game. This episode.
This is a game to you? Is that what this is?
I just am like itching to get back to playing Overwatch. Speaking of which,
capable of hatred.
Okay. Let's see. Wired.com. Zuckerberg wants Facebook to build a mind-reading machine. For those of us who worry that Facebook may have serious boundary issues when it comes to the personal information of its users, Mark Zuckerberg's recent comments at Harvard should get the heart racing. Now, we're talking about Mark Zuckerberg. We talked about him last week because of his change of heart and his wanting to really focus on privacy and have double-ended encryption and all this stuff to make people trust him, which was a total 180 from everything Facebook has ever stood for. And, you know, I bet he really did think for a second that people were buying it, that we might think that Zuckerberg would just really turn a corner and focus on the privacy of his users. But according to the article, Zuckerberg dropped by the university last month, ostensibly as part of a year of conversations with experts about the role of technology in society. Quote, the opportunities, the challenges, the hopes, and the anxieties, end quote. His nearly 2-hour interview with Harvard Law School professor Jonathan Zittrain in front of Facebook cameras and a classroom of students centered on the company's unprecedented position as a town square for perhaps 2 billion people. I like the perhaps thing in there because there's a lot of talk about Facebook inflating those numbers.
Yeah.
To continue, to hear the young CEO tell it, Facebook was taking shots from all sides. Oh, Zucky. Either it was indifferent to the ethnic hatred festering on its platforms, or it was a heavy-handed censor deciding whether an idea was allowed to be expressed. Quick note, I thought it was very interesting that it said either it was indifferent to ethnic hatred and did not use the word racism there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, very
Wired.
interesting. Ethnic hatred instead of racism. Zuckerberg confessed that he hadn't sought out such an awesome responsibility. No one should, he said. If I was a different person, what would I want the CEO of the company to be able to do? He asked himself. I would not want so many decisions about content to be concentrated with any individuals. Instead, Facebook will establish its own Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
He told
There you
Zittrain. That's cool. Yeah, the tribunal shall decide on your post.
I don't think any one person should, but my court
I think
will
a group of
decide.
people. An outside panel entrusted to settle thorny questions about what appears on the platform. Quote, I will not be able to make a decision that overturns what they say, he promised, which I think is good. All was going to plan. Zuckerberg had displayed a welcome humility about himself and his company, and then he described what really excited him about the future.
Ooh.
And the familiar Silicon Valley hubris had returned.
Oh, it emerges.
I love this Wired. Whoever's
Yeah,
writing
no, this guy,
is great.
yeah, he's right. He's really colorful with his.
There was this promising new technology, he explained, a brain-computer interface, which Facebook has been researching. The idea is to allow people to use their thoughts to navigate intuitively through augmented reality, the neuro-driven version of the world recently described by Kevin Kelly in these pages. There's a link. No typing, no speaking, even to distract you or slow you down as you interact with the digital additions to the landscape. Driving instructions superimposed over the freeway, short biographies floating next to attendees of a conference, 3D models of furniture you can move around your apartment. The Harvard audience was a little taken aback by the conversation's turn. Zittrain made a law professor joke about the constitutional right to remain silent in light of a technology that allows eavesdropping on thoughts. Even the
That's pretty
lawyer
funny.
in the class was like, Zucky, you don't have to tell us these horrible things you're thinking. You're allowed to not say every dumb thought that comes into your head. Okay, continuing on. Fifth Amendment implications are staggering, he said to laughter. Even this gentle pushback was met with the tried and true defense of big tech companies when criticized for trampling users' privacy, users' consent. Presumably, Zuckerberg said, this would be something that someone would choose to use as a product. In short, he would not be diverted from his self-assigned mission to connect the people of the world for fun and profit. Not by the dystopian image of brain-probing police officers, not by an extended apology tour. Quote, I don't know how we got onto that, he said jovially, quote, but I think a little bit on future tech and research is interesting too. That's very funny. So apparently he just stumbled into accidentally talking about wanting to read all of our thoughts during this conversation.
I am not capable of hatred.
Yeah, exactly. Trust Trust the Zucky.
Yeah.
Of course, Facebook already follows you around as you make your way through the world via the GPS and the smartphone in your pocket, and likewise follows you across the internet via code implanted in your browser. Would we really let Facebook inside those old noggin? I love this writer, but he's really difficult to cold read. Would we really let Facebook inside those old noggins of ours just so we can order a pizza faster and with more toppings? Zuckerberg clearly is counting on it. To be fair, Facebook doesn't plan to actually enter our brains. For one thing, a surgical implant, Zuckerberg told Zittrain, wouldn't scale well. Quote, if you're actually trying to build things that everyone is going to use, you're going to want to focus on non-invasive things.
Good call there, Mark.
Well, you know, however really you get to that decision, I'm glad you got there.
Yeah. Well, at least for now, he's probably like, darn, I wish I was born 50 years later. If only
there was a way to implant it faster. The technology that Zuckerberg described is a shower cap looking device that surrounds a brain and discovers the connections between particular thoughts and particular blood flows or brain activity, presumably to assist the glasses or headsets manufactured by Oculus VR, which is part of Facebook. Already, Zuckerberg said the researchers can distinguish when a person is thinking of a giraffe or an elephant based on neural activity. Typing with your mind would work off the same principles. And the article has about 10 more paragraphs, but this is it. This is the part that we want to talk about. The man who basically spies on every part of our life, knows everything about us, remembers our birthday when nobody else will, who's also very close to being under criminal prosecution for selling all of our data overseas into huge companies, for a second wanted us to trust him and think that he was focused on privacy, and then accidentally told us he wants to read all of our thoughts. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the guy who wrote this article really wants to pump the brakes on Zuckerberg's.
I think that's
dreams.
Reasonable. I gotta figure out. Yeah, who wrote this? This was Noam Cohen. Okay,
there you go. Good job. Keeping it real at Wired over there. Although he had to name drop Kevin Kelly like 2 or 3 times because
that's true.
Kevin Kelly's Kevin Kelly's the co-founder of Wired magazine. So
right,
he's sort of immortalized by every
there's like author. 2 or 3 links to Kevin Kelly papers. Within the article, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. There's the Zuckerberg update. We're just trying to keep it real.
Are we? Keep it super real.
We're just keeping it real.
The beast system.
Tell me about the beast system, Gons.
We're keeping it real in the beast system. Oh, I guess this is another Wired.com article. A lot of Wired.
Yeah.
This made the rounds a little bit, but I thought it was interesting. The genderless digital voice the world needs right now. They need it, Basil. We need this voice.
Genderless voice. Now, this one almost got cut from the show, but you had a good thing you wanted to tell us all.
Yeah, a little thing. Okay, so boot up the options for your digital voice assistant of choice, and you're likely to find 2 options for the gender you prefer interacting with, male or female. The problem is that binary choice isn't an accurate representation of the complexities of gender. Some folks don't identify as either male or female, and they may want their voice assistant to mirror that identity. And as of now, they're out of luck. But a group of linguists, technologists, and sound designers led by Copenhagen Pride and Vice's creative agency Virtue are on a quest to change that with a new genderless digital voice made from real voices called Q. Q isn't going to show up in your smartphone tomorrow, but the idea is to pressure the tech industry into acknowledging that gender isn't necessarily binary. Now, there's a lot of like political undertones with this, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, there's so many things already to address.
Yeah.
First of all, if you can't hear, my hands are over my face.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious. Quick question.
Yeah.
Lightning round.
Yo.
Do you prefer to interact with a male or female voice?
In just, what do you mean? Like in terms of just normal?
Just in the context of the question of this article.
Like a machine? I don't
Yeah,
really
sure.
care. I don't care.
Oh, I'm female all the way. I want all
really?
my robots to be girls.
Well, that may be just a weird thing for you, but yeah.
I'm just putting it out there.
Maybe I'm. Well, I think it depends on what I'm listening to.
I don't trust male robots. I got a weird sense of competition. I need to arm wrestle them or like do something to prove my alphaness to them.
Right. Okay. So there's that. But then also this idea that they named it Q.
Yeah.
Which
Very
I thought was
interesting.
very interesting. The fact that it's almost like a super troll of the whole Q thing, which interestingly, on Twitter, it was fascinating to watch people post this article. Like
You're referring to
link it.
Q-Anon, right?
Yeah, the Q. Yeah, no, I'm talking about this article though, this genderless digital voice article, and people freaking out saying Q is real, and all the
Q is a genderless
guys,
robot.
Yeah, they're like, and people were like, wait a minute, did you read the article? But anyway, I think there's some of that going on anyway.
I have seen the theory thrown around that Q is like an AI connected to like government databases or something.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but in any case, let me. Do you want to actually hear the genderless voice that they plan
play
to?
it.
Okay, let's play this here. Is it going?
Hi, I'm Q, the world's first genderless voice assistant. Think of me like Siri or Alexa, but neither male nor female. I'm created for a future where we are no longer defined by gender.
Of course. So there's a little sample there. What do you think about this? I mean, you had a thought when we prior to recording this. You should touch on here.
The big thing for me is now, I would prefer to interact if my robots needed to have a gender. I would prefer if they're all female, but also
I'm gonna walk into your lair and you're gonna have all these
my harem of female.
So you're gonna have this flippy
disembodied robot arms.
Yeah,
frying my chicken and petting my cats.
Would you like your coffee, Basil?
No, well, I mean, my point is like, why do we need the gender robots at all? I think we're already getting into hairy territory, making robots male or female. And look, I'm not trying to, this is not me saying like, I don't know, jumping on the gender fluidity bandwagon or whatever. I'm just saying they're robots. They don't have chromosomes. And technically, if you want to speak in a clinical sense, if they have no chromosomes, then there ain't no male or female. It's a toaster. Okay. It's just a toaster. We don't need, I mean, I get it. We want to make it male or female just for like interaction and how that makes us feel. Like I said, I'd prefer if they're all females, but this whole thing about genderlessing or genderizing or whatever robots, I don't know. It's a little much for me.
Here's the thing. I think you're right in that they're forcing they're forcing the anthropomorphization of the robot voice.
Yeah.
If we really want to stay consistent, the robot should have its own voice that's neither it's I don't know if you can call it genderless
like the old
or whatever,
60s
but just
robots voice.
Yeah, just like exactly. It's neutral.
Yeah.
In that way, not neutral in the human context. So
I mean, I'm not against this voice. I don't
care either. Like,
I don't necessarily
honestly, I don't
like
care that
the
much.
voice, but
it makes me think that this is more just like appropriation, and because right now we have a choice, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's just there's just going to be more choices, and it's like great.
And I think it's interesting because the article goes on, and that voice goes on to explain we need to pressure big tech companies into using that. And there's such a parallel between the pressure to make this voice acceptable and the pressure that, is so rampant in the kind of social justice warriors' main weapon.
But that's the thing that's interesting. And we've been on this, bandwagon or train for a while, even though we were probably one of the only ones at the beginning talking about transhumanism and saying a lot of the cultural issues that we see, that include things like, transgenderism and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. While it has its contemporary sort of, effects and dealings and stuff, is leading to this sort of technological revolution. And with the mix of technology and science and all that advancement, it's going to become more transparent and even more in your face and bold and all that kind of stuff. And it's an interesting thing that's going to happen to society. So
that's right. And that's our time for today, folks. So thanks so much for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. And here's the thing. We have a Patreon account, and if you get any value out of this show whatsoever, you can head over to patreon.com/CCNT, and we have rewards available. One of those rewards is a bonus episode every week. So if you don't get enough Canary Cry News Talk, you can get our Canary Cry News Talk extended report, where we do a whole nother episode, and it's waiting over there for you. This week, we're going to be talking about a news article that was dug up in the year 2000, talking about how CNN had government operatives, PSYOP operatives working in the newsroom. We're going to be talking about cyborg warriors. We're going to be talking about beef and what beef looks like for us in the future. So if you're interested in any of that, or you just want to hang out with us a little bit more, head over to patreon.com/CCNT. That's patreon.com/CCNT, and we will see you over there. Thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk, and make sure to tune in next week. But until you do, think outside the cage.
I'm for the robots.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy.